that was healthy for on my end.
No, I'm
I
saying a
mean,
healthy resistance with parenting when it comes to co-parenting and co-parenting in a marriage. Like, do you think that there's a healthy resistance? Because I think a lot of people parent from a place of history and what they dealt with. So when you get resistance, it's based off something you've seen before, you've dealt with before, or you experienced before. That's a lot of times like, or something you read, right? So you believe in like a healthy resistance in parenting.
Dynamics Podcast.
you have to just be willing to talk about these things, and you have to be willing to put it all on the table.
Learn firsthand from the power couple who's built a healthy relationship from major and minor issues,
The good, the bad, the ugly.
to triumphs of the family unit.
In this day and age, you need somebody by your side.
Utilize proven techniques and strategies to help your relationship and family thrive to the next level.
You have to compromise.
This is the Family Dynamics Podcast with Kevin and Alicia Meeks.
Welcome to another episode of the Family Dynamics Podcast. We are once again in our home studio, and as y'all all know, I'm sitting next to my beautiful wife, Alicia Meeks.
Hey, y'all.
So today, we want to talk about pregnancy scare, and the topic of pregnancy scare is something that happens to a lot of people, but what people don't know is that what emotionally and mentally goes through both parties' mindset when things like pregnancy come along.
Yeah. So that did happen to us this summer. That was so crazy. I was getting my hair braided and my braider Tish was having a baby. She was visibly pregnant, and I was just talking to her about having a baby, and she was like, "Oh, you and Kevin not gonna have another one." People don't be realizing how old I am. No. So I was telling her, like, "Girl, no, I have this such and such birth control," and it was like every 5 years you have to get it taken out and da da da. And then that jogged my memory. I'm like, 3, 2, 1, like counting it up, like, did I take it out at the right time? Did I? And so I was just really confused. And so I called my doctor's office and I left a voice message saying, I just want to verify, I had the right dates and this and that, because whatever, I hadn't had it taken out yet. And so the nurse called back and I answered, and she was like, "Mrs. Meeks, I'm gonna need you to go take a pregnancy test. You very well could be pregnant. I noticed that on your last visit, your last period was this and da da da." And so I'm just like, okay, what? I said, "You think so?" And she was like, "Yes, Miss Meeks, I need you to go take a pregnancy test and call me back because you're 2 months behind with getting it out." And I'm like, "What? Oh my goodness." And so, nevertheless, I called Kevin because I'm still getting my hair braided. And so it's nothing I could do at that time. I couldn't just jump up. And so I'm getting my hair braided. And I called Kevin like, "You won't believe this, babe. The doctor's talking about I could be pregnant." And I don't know how Kevin was feeling, but he was like, "What? Like, wait, what?" And so I'm like, "Oh my goodness." The nurse said I need to go get a pregnancy test. So that was a fool in itself. So I had like 3 more hours on my hair getting braided. So once I finally got done with getting my hair braided, I went to CVS. Y'all, they got everything. They got electronic pregnancy tests. And so I was reading them. I was in there for at least 20 minutes because I was just reading the different ones because I want the one that's going to tell me the truth. And so I don't want no lines and no pluses and minuses. No, so I got the digital one. I don't know if it's called Clear Blue or whatever it's called. I don't want to plug them. But whoever it is, I mean, because I don't remember who it was, but it was a digital one where it's tell you pregnant, not pregnant, okay? In the words. So it's they give it to me plain. So I thought about it once Kevin got home, so then I had to wait till Kevin got home. So I get home. Well, I went to the store, got the pregnancy test, get home, go ahead and pee on the stick, and we waiting. There was excruciating 2 minutes. And however many minutes, I think it was 2 minutes. And
It sounds like an hour to me.
it seemed like it. I'm trying to tell you. Like, and so why were we feeling like that? Because we're married. Why was we feeling like that?
I don't know. I think that in our specific case, like we had like kids weren't in the plan of what we were, because we co-parents to the highest power in here. Like we trying to get this dynamic together, and then to bring now just a little tidbit. Like I would have liked to have done everything right. This is my first marriage, to have had a child with my wife. But due to things that have happened in my life, and the weight of raising kids, even in coming in together, the kids just wasn't on the radar. And I think we were scared because it wasn't something that we was planning. And most of the times and most of the things that we have done, we've planned to do. We've set out to do, and it was an agreement together. Now I know you saying, well, y'all agreed to have sex. Yeah. Well, we didn't agree to go the rest of the mile. so
Yeah. And then at this time in our life, like,
right.
I'm over 40. What I need another baby? Like, no. Like, even though I'll be 1,000%, because whoever watching this, if you close to me, you're very aware. I absolutely wanted a baby with my husband 6 months after I got married. I would have been pregnant, but unfortunately, the circumstances of our life did not allow that to occur. So I absolutely wanted a baby with my husband, but we've been married for 7, about to be 8 years at this point. So that feeling then went away, because with all this blending of the family, baby, I've seen a lot, have been through a lot, and we've been through a lot with raising our kids. And as we always tell you all, the blending has been the most challenging aspect of our marriage, although it has progressed greatly through the years. But nevertheless, we can't erase that the things that we did endure during those times. And I think what went across my mind outside of my age, well, my age was the first factor, because I'm like counting it up, like I'm gonna be 60 going to I was just thinking about it. And I'm just like so used to my lifestyle, like diapers and wipes don't get it. I know my little cousin London, I babysat her when she was first born.
Oh man.
And I'm like, yeah, no. No, I mean, she's the most precious and sweet, but it just let me know like how far gone, Maya is about to be 20. So it's just so much that I just forgot. And so I just think in that moment, a lot flashed before my eyes, because I'm just thinking about going back into phonics and potty training, and everything was going through my mind like real fast. Like that was the longest, like I don't know, my heart was racing. I couldn't even really focus when I was getting my hair braided. Like I was just thinking, oh my goodness, like what if we have a little baby? But it would have been, of course, if God chose for that to be, then we would have had to just roll with it. Absolutely. And y'all know I love little babies and stuff. So, but at this stage, I like the babies that I could give back to their parents. You spoil them and coochie coo, and they go back to their parents. But if God blessed me with a baby at that time, I'm sure we would have just made the best out of it.
We definitely would have made not only the best, but it would have, the child would have got the best. And I think that's the reason why we were so
the child would have got the best of us. We've grown
so
much.
Man, so much. And I think that was the scary part, because it's like whatever we was planning to do in our life has to take not in backseat, but had to come out the car, because we know the commitment that we're going to give to this child. It takes nothing away from the kids we have now, but we're going to give this child 120%, and everything that we had already planned, agreed, strategized, pillow talked about has to go. And we got to adjust our entire lifestyle now, right? Because the people that know me, I've had 2 children out of wedlock, and one of them which was not in a good time. Like I was a child having a child. So my son didn't get the best of me because I wasn't of age or of understanding to give him the best. So now that I'm married on the covenant, oh man, this child gonna get, if not more than I could have ever even thought of myself giving this child. So I would think it was a scary, like, oh man, God, you giving me a whole nother test. Now marriage, co-parenting is a thing. Now we're gonna bring another life, or we got to get. So I know what I was thinking, and I can only imagine on that phone, on them getting them braids, what you was thinking. Like, oh man, we.
I mean, because I know, as we all know, I was a single mom and committed to my baby. And the sacrifices that I made for her, I'm very aware of what it takes to be the type of mother that I am. So I know whatever type of mother I was to Maya took so much percent, and I was a magnificent mother to her. But this next baby gonna take even more. And now I got somebody to oppose what I'm saying. Because I was used to being a single mom. When I say go and this is what's happening, and yeah, do it. And so now I would have some opposition. Like, we would need to have this whole talk. I mean, about a new baby raising, about a new baby getting up and getting diapers, about a new baby daycare type of schooling, just every aspect. And it's a lot. I know a lot of people have multiple kids and everything, but I'm not saying that you can't be but you can't, because you can't be an octopus. You can't be everywhere. If you got 8 kids and they all in activities, you can't be at every game. You can't be as hands-on in every single school. If they all in 2 and 3 different schools, primary and then middle school and junior high, and you can't be on every committee. So you really can't. And so, like, with Maya, I was just having her, and I was very at everything. I called off of work to be on every single field trip, because I wanted to be intentional in her life. And so to think about getting that back intentional and intense, and then it was a total scare, but it was also a pleasant scare, because I was like, I wanted a baby, and here comes God giving me one, because I did want a baby with my husband. I really did.
I wonder, and what's crazy is when you see a lot of people, like, you wonder what the other person is thinking. It wouldn't have been this Debbie Downer for me.
It wasn't gonna be a downer for me.
It wasn't a Debbie Downer. It was
a shocker.
It was a shock. It was a shock in the time of our marriage, where it's like that was left field, like that left field. Like, I went into the hospital with heart surgery. Like, those things are like, whoa, God, what's that? Like, that's
and that's why I thought it was gonna be true, because that's the way God works. He'll come out of left field, and you'll be like, hold on, life coming at me fast. Oh, I forgot to catch. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa. And so,
because you think about like marriage is already rough, and when you put children in the mix, you have to be that much more intentional with your marriage, because you do have other children. And one of our mantras is to make sure that we are straight, because when these kids, like, we got 2 kids in college, we got one left at home now, but we don't want to be freshly getting to know each other, now that the kids are gone. And to be honest, you do get wrapped up in the day-to-day of, baseball, football, cheer, and all of this other stuff, to that you do unknowingly forget, like, damn, did I tell my wife or my husband that I love them? Or you do get wrapped up in that. I'm unknowingly. So we knowing that we got to give this child 120% of us, we got to have more understanding that come on, we got another commitment. So, be patient.
And then how would these children feel? Because I was thinking about Remy Ma and Papoose, and I saw one of their episodes where one of their daughters was like, let's talk about this with this golden child. Like, we still here. Y'all keep saying y'all having a golden child. Like, what's up? Like, this golden child. And it looked like they were very disgruntled about it. And Remy Ma and Papoose, they didn't care. They were still calling that baby golden child. Everything was about that baby being golden. And even though they have a child together, but they also have children apart, And I don't know. I don't know how. And I know Maya, especially, she clearly she has two other siblings now, but they didn't impede upon her, in that way like a baby would. A baby demands attention. You know what I'm saying?
And then what, we also see now, even in our co-parenting and blending, like we see that the kids sometimes get a little jealous because what they see from us today, they didn't see in past years. And kids don't necessarily understand that you grew. Like where you were, you're 19 or you're 21. Like I definitely couldn't give you the level of parenting I give you now. And then it was a different time, different type of technology, different type of everything. So when you seeing the other kids getting or the other children getting, and you're like, hey, why didn't I get that? Well, that's because I wasn't that person at that time, and they don't understand. They will get it when they have their own,
or just even like,
because we've seen that with another person. I think it was Candy and Todd.
Oh yeah.
And you seeing the difference between the raising. Well, they don't understand that she or he, they was different then.
Yeah. I mean, and I know, and Maya calls me out, so I know she'll call it out like, oh, you letting the new baby be on your couch throwing your stuff? You because I've heard, I don't know, but I've heard like once you have another child, I haven't physically given birth to any other child than Maya, but if you have another child, you're more lenient. Like the first baby, you like disinfected every area before you lay the baby to get a diaper, and you laying out the diaper changing pad and doing everything. And then that second baby, you changing them on your lap. Like, oh, okay, here you go. So I just know it will be different. I'm very aware because I'm a totally different person.
But was that a fear too of how your biological daughter would have felt with the scare that we had, and if it being true at that time?
Yeah.
Was that a contributing factor?
A lot of stuff went through my mind at that time. I do think that Maya took it good because she's older and her tail is away at school. It'd have been different if she was in high school and have to, go pick the baby up and this and that. I mean, I think she would have been very helpful, but I just think that she still, in a way, would probably feel a way, but I don't know.
But do you think it would have been necessary to like have to explain the newness or what she may feel?
I would have to have a talk with her, definitely, but I like to have communication and talk anyway. But I mean, I think we would have to have a talk with all three of the kids.
Well, the only reason I'm asking that because a lot of parents is like, it is what it is. It's biological. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. Like it's a child. I don't know what's understood. What's understood don't need to be explained.
But I would be,
because a lot of parents, they try to prepare the child's emotions for something.
You should, I think,
to a degree. Because
is
it kind of like asking for permission or something?
No,
like, I'm
not asking for permission at all. But I do think, you have to prepare the other children for a new child coming into the home, just as if it was a dog or anything else. I mean, like, okay, if we getting this dog, you're going to have to be walking the dog. You a part of this too. We'll take.
Yeah.
Well, it's a baby and things may change. I may not be always available to do this and that, and gonna have to bear with me, And so I do think like some conversations would have had to been had, but overall, I think they all three would have been fine. But I do think, as I watch with Papoose and Remy, my kids, they may notice, they would have noticed, because we're different people than we were in the times in which they were raised. And they may think we favoring the baby, because now that the baby would have been here, y'all know how I am. That baby would have been so spoiled with everything. And these kids, y'all grown now. Y'all grown, and they'll be feeling like it's the baby fault because the baby taking all the money and this and that. But they may feel a way. And then me, the person that I am, knowing how difficult it was for me to go back to work, Maya was like 8 months old, I would want to gear off with the baby. And Maya might look at that like, you threw my butt in daycare. But I didn't have an option. I had to go to work. But yeah, so it was a lot. All of that went through my mind that fast. Like, and girl, what you gonna do about your job? Cause the baby can't be in nobody daycare no 6 to 8 months. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a lot. Everything.
So did you see yourself like doing things a lot different than you did the first time? Because I know I definitely when it was a thought in my mind, like, man, I like, to me, I felt like, oh man, I got a chance this time to do this or
And
do
be
that
there
or
every
be
step of the
that.
way.
Right. So did you feel like that like you would have did so immediately? Like, it's not taking away from who you are or what you did before, because you, like you said, you was definitely there present and everything with Amaya. But
Yeah.
do you think that, like, okay, no, we don't need that. I definitely got to do this.
Well, with Maya being born in wedlock, I initially had someone to assist me with her at the very beginning, and she was very loved and wanted. But it's when the divorce came about and the separation that I ended up being very single parent, and all of the responsibility was on me. So the choices that I was forced to make just was what it was.
So in that time, was there any resistance in the way like parenting was going at that time? To know, like, now, if we was to have a child, or if that was our reality, you know who I am, like, I wanted to be involved. Like, was at that time, was there any resistance that you dealt with then?
Yeah, it was. And that's where, the family dynamics definitely came into play with the co-parent, because at that point now we're co-parenting. Well, you always co-parenting, even if you marry, but with us being divorced, we were living in two different households and two different sets of rules and
No,
environments.
what I mean is, like, when it comes to, Amaya's first, she conceived, the baby's here. Was there any parental resistance
No,
that you had to deal with?
I will say Antoine was very whatever you want to do, because he knew the type of mother that I was, that she was going to be the best and have the best, and I'm going to research it. I will say he didn't give me much resistance ever with her, like, until she got in this all-star cheer. But other than that, because all-star cheer took up a lot of money and finances and time. But other than that, I never had any, like, he didn't want me to do that with her or whatever. Like, I think he was grateful for whatever I was doing for her.
Do you think it's like a healthy resistance? Like, is a such thing?
No, I don't think that was healthy on my end.
No, I'm saying a healthy resistance with parenting when it comes to co-parenting and co-parenting in a marriage. Like, do you think that there's a healthy resistance? Because I think a lot of people parent from a place of history and what they dealt with. So when you get resistance, it's based off something you've seen before, you've dealt with before, or you experienced before. That's a lot of times, like, or something you read, right? So you believe in like a healthy resistance in parenting. Like, a healthy resistance could be, no, I don't want our child to eat solid foods or something. You know what I mean? But the other parent, like, well, look, I've been here for this many years. I've been grown, and
so
I made it
honest,
here.
it was some resistance with that, because I was that way. I wanted Maya to be a Gerber baby, and her daddy gave her some White Castles at a young age. My baby was sick as I don't know what, and so I don't know about resistance, but he just was doing something and probably haphazardly not thinking. But then once he saw the results of how our daughter got sick, then he like, oh yeah, I got to start paying more attention to what Alicia got to say. But
so that's a healthy resistance between you and him.
Healthy resistance.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's a healthy resistance.
Because it's not,
because a lot of people will be closed-minded to, because there's a lot of struggles in a lot of relationships and marriages today, like just regular monogamous relationships where you have children, where they get so angry of the resistance, but don't see that my perspective of this resistance is that, hey, being a Gerber baby and letting a child go through these steps and not introducing meat or introducing sugars is a good thing. So, and then recognizing that, oh, this is my wife or this is my child's mother, that they want the best for them. Yeah, and I'm just looking at it because they're telling me no, and they want to do this. Like it could be a healthy resistance. Like, hey, let's put our child in private school and not the regular public school. They may get a jump on education versus, well, I don't want to pay that. Well, it's not about your financial fears. It's more about how are we bettering the child.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that what you did with Amaya, with trying to let her go through the steps, nourishment wise, was a healthy resistance.
Yeah.
So, and I just wanted to give our listeners that that tidbit, like, hey, even in your parenting or your co-parenting, like some things, even if you are parenting from a different household, like there are some healthy resistances. And we've dealt with the healthy resistances on our end, just dealing with baby mamas and baby daddies.
And
like,
it's just communication
Yeah.
that has to occur.
And setting yourself aside as a parent, like, hey, is this
Think
working?
about what's best for the child at all times. Like that's like number one in parenting, period. What is best for the child? Like if you use that as like a guide, that would just get you through, because then you're gonna put yourself to the side, and be selfless and understand that what's best for the child is what's best.
Yeah, because we dealt with and I keep saying healthy resistance, but it was negative at the time, because when we moved to an area where there was the scale of school district was you couldn't even weigh them, and there was a resistance of, oh, I don't want my child to be that far away from me, or why y'all moving them. But to tip the scale, like, hey, this you get this our child is getting more services, more help, more involvement, more help is academically. Like, now you just have to remove your biases on school, because we all grew up in certain urban areas in the hood. Like, we think, oh, we came out good, but hey, we skated
you
though.
Know better and
you
do better.
You do better. So the resistance,
that was by the grace of God.
Grace of God. We made it. We made it. But we ain't gonna skate with our kids these days.
I mean, people have said that directly to me, like, Alicia, why is it just so important for you about Amaya, what school she go to? Like, why is it that important? And I'm like, because, like, yeah, I did live in the hood initially, then we moved on up and out, but I want better for my daughter. Like, most people, I can't say what you should or shouldn't, but I want better for my daughter, even better than I had. I think my parents did an awesome job raising me. I think that they provided me with the best of the best as much as they could. But however, I'm in another position and I know better and I want to do better. I want to put my baby in private school. I want to bring her to a better school district. I want to have her, it's things that, now in hindsight, being in a predominantly other ethnicity community, because I can't say predominantly white, because it's not just predominantly white, it's just all ethnicities, and it's just not a lot of blacks. But even that was a challenge. I thought it was gonna just be simple. Oh yeah, my baby in this school district, but no, because we have to fight racism.
Absolutely.
I never had to fight racism in my school, because it was all black kids mostly, and the white people was the minorities. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I've learned a lot of things along the way. And if we were to have a new baby, the baby would definitely be raised differently, even than Maya. And I feel like she was raised good. But it would be because now I have help, or now it's 2 incomes, so we may be able to do even more. Or my baby have a nanny or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Because I think we've definitely had this topic before, where we was talking about schooling, and it's like, yeah, we were okay in those urban areas, but I want to pick something that is useful. Now, don't get me wrong, being cultured and being grounded in your culture is necessary, but also having the education that we're not getting in those areas is probably the higher level of importance, because to be diverse and to be able to move amongst other cultures, like, you have to have that, and to get the same education that they getting, if not more, is extremely important.
Being prepared on the same level as the students that are coming out of these school districts near our home is very important and vital to a child's success in college and everything like that, with whether they would be accepted or not. You know, Maya went into college with 18 credits. So she basically started as a sophomore.
That's nuts.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, all of that is different because whereas our oldest son was in a different school district and they didn't prepare him like that. And, you know, it just is what it is.
And that's unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate. And I didn't even notice it until I married Kevin, of how the curriculum, because of course I was paying attention to my oldest son and what subjects he was taking. And, you know, it was really eye-opening to the point where, let's just say the ACT test. Amaya school gave it. I don't even know. Maybe I had to pay for it. Maybe I didn't. They made it available on site at the school, easy for the parents. They did classes on Saturday for free to help prepare the kids. But then my son's school didn't even offer it at all.
And to give y'all a little perspective, they grew up in schools where they're less than 10 miles away.
And it was
the
such
curriculum,
a humongous difference.
The curriculum and the education, 10 miles. We're not talking about states. 10 miles away, it's totally different.
That's just how it is. So, you know, all of that goes into perspective when you think about parenting and blending of families and what would you do, what wouldn't you do, you know. So we just wanted to share with you all.
Yeah, we definitely wanted to share with you all
our pregnancy scare.
Hey, and share something with us that in this topic that you feel like, oh, that's me, or I agree with that, or I don't agree with it. And maybe when it comes to your parenting, like, would you have treated your situation, your new child, different than your old children or the children that you already have,
or raise them
different? Like tell us what you would have done different. But this is us, and like we always say, we always transparent. We just want to hear from you guys. And once again, for all of your apparel for your spoiled wives, please go to www.thespoiledwivesclub.com.
Just spoiledwivesclub.com. We got to get them on the right spot, baby.
Spoiledwives.com.
We got to leave the off of it. But yes, spoiledwivesclub.com. Check it out. My new book. I'm making holiday seasonal mats and regular spoiled wife mats that are very cute and catchy. So check it out. spoiledwivesclub.com.
And we'll see y'all in a minute.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Family Dynamics Podcast with Kevin and Alicia Meeks.
Thank you, guys.
Please like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget to follow us on social media at The Family Dynamics.
We'll see y'all in a minute.
Bye.